Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, we talk about all things fandom and we talk about them in a positive way. And today is Terrifying Tuesday. And on Terrifying Tuesday, we talk about something terrifying. And today we're going to be talking about Violent Night. This is our non-spoiler review of Violent Night, which isn't exactly a horror movie, but it does have a lot of gore. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so Violent Night is what you get when you take Die Hard, mix it with a little bit of Bad Santa, and just a dash of Home Alone. And that's when you get Violent Night. Now, it's not exactly a horror movie, but it does, as I said, have a lot of gore. And it's this gore that makes it worthwhile to talk about on Terrifying Tuesday. That and the fact that this is a Santa Claus that makes you feel like, oh, he's jolly in the beginning. He is in a bad place when we first meet him. So when we find him in this movie, he is at that lowest point. He's at this point where he would rather drink liquor with a cookie than to drink milk. He's at the point where he kind of doesn't believe that people are good anymore. He doesn't believe that what he's doing is even worth it. He's down on his dumps, down on his luck, and then he runs across someone who genuinely needs his help. This little girl that's on the nice list asks him to save her family from these bad guys. And here's the thing. He's in this house to deliver presents when all of a sudden he knows what's happening. And he kind of wavers a little bit with whether or not he wants to get involved. What follows in this movie is this brutal mix of Die Hard and Bad Santa, while it also pays homage to Home Alone, and it's smart about that. They outright do kind of tell you Home Alone, but the thing is, the villains in this movie are what truly make it. The villains in this movie are abysmal. They are horrible people. They are people that you genuinely want to see get punished in the most extreme ways. So when you're watching it, you're not feeling bad for them. And the main villain especially, we find out so much about him. He apparently hates Christmas, and they seek to rob this family safe on Christmas Eve. Unbeknownst to them, Santa Claus is in the house. Now, that's as much spoilers as I'm going to give you, other than to tell you that this movie is completely gory. It does have a lot of really gory moments, and what actually makes this movie work is that it's smart about what it does. There is this Santa origin that's kind of touched on. It's touched on very lightly, where you get to see what made Santa Claus Santa Claus. Only here's the thing, they don't elaborate on it a whole lot, and I felt like this was one of the mistakes in the movie. To be honest with you, I see why they only touch on it lightly, but being honest, at the same time, I wish they touched on it more, because they do this completely, really unique take on Santa Claus becoming Santa Claus. And I would have liked to have seen how this played out. Was this more of his original origin story, or is there more to it than meets the eye? Was he not the original Santa Claus? They don't elaborate enough to really give you the entire story, only to tell you the origin of this specific Santa Claus, and I feel as though they really needed to touch on that more. It would have been fun, but it also would have made the movie longer, took away from the concept of the movie, and probably overshadowed it. So it might not be a bad thing that they didn't do that. However, Just for that reason alone, I was all in. Just for that touch on that small little touched on moment, I was all in. I was ready, because the thing of it is that I don't remember ever seeing an origin to Santa Claus quite like this. And I was there for it. I loved it. I feel like this movie did a lot of things right. It's got enough action for the people who just want to go and see an action movie. It's got enough gore for the people who honestly just want to see blood. It's got enough suspense for the people who want a little bit of suspense. You can't really classify the movie as a horror movie, although I'm not sure quite what you would classify it as. Dark comedy action, maybe dark comedy action suspense. I'm not sure where you really want to classify this movie, but it was worth talking about on our Terrifying Tuesday, just because of the level of gore that is in this movie. And I will say this movie is definitely not for little kids. It may seem like it's got some cute moments, and it really does, but this movie is definitely not for the little kids in your household. They're going to have more questions than they're going to have answers in seeing this movie. And that's kind of the thing. That's what makes the movie work on so many levels for the adults who will be watching the movie. And I really do recommend, if you go and see a Christmas movie this year, at least so far, I have to recommend this one. Because there are some movies that are appearing on streaming that you should check out. There's the Ryan Reynolds one that is out, Spirited. You need to check that one out. The Verdict is still out on the Mean one, because as of yet, I haven't seen it. It hasn't been released. So we've got to wait to determine whether or not that one is good, or if the Mean one is just a flop. We're not going to know until that comes out. But this movie is worth your time. It definitely is worth your time if you like a little bit of action, if you like a little bit of gore. This movie is all kinds of fun. I highly recommend it. I actually give this movie 5 out of 5 stars for it being the sort of Christmas movie that horror fans, action fans, and even just your dark comedy fans can actually all sit down and enjoy. It's a win-win situation as far as I'm concerned. Definitely check it out. So, you know the routine. Go ahead and leave us a comment in the comment box below. Let us know what you think if you have seen this movie. Let us know if you agree with our rating or not. Make sure you share this video with all of your friends so they can be a part of the conversation as well. Then don't forget to hit that like button. It's free and it helps the channel. And then Miko says we need more subscribers, and you don't want to disappoint Miko. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell while you're down there so you don't miss a single video we do. And then yes, friends, you know it, I know it, and Miko knows it. At the end of the day, fandom is family.